Welcome to the Daily Download. I'm Travis Fain, and today's deep dive conversation is all about your pocketbook, your wallet. It's your money, people. I'm joined by WRAL 5 on your side reporter Keely Arthur. Welcome, Keely.
Good morning.
I have a couple of recent stories I want to highlight that you've done that I think were really interesting. But real quick, tell people what 5 on your side is, the overriding goal of it.
The overriding goal, I think, is to educate people about their money in a very, tangible, practical way. We have networks dedicated to money news, but a lot of that is stocks, things that people are not going to think about maybe day to day. What we're trying to do is tell people where is the best place to get groceries, where can you get cheap school supplies, things that affect everyday families. And then we also, and one of my favorite parts of the job is we intervene when we feel like the little guy, if you will, is being wronged. We get involved. And sometimes these people who are having issues with companies have tried to talk to the company over and over again. And it isn't until the news station gets involved that we see change and we can help get people their money back.
Yeah, isn't it funny how attitudes change for some businesses when a little bit of attention, a little sunlight gets shined on it, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do a big story on this one, but we got a woman back $5,000 on a denture bill. And that's a lot of money. And she had tried for months, and we got involved for a week, and it was fixed.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, call a reporter. Yeah. You know, we can't always help. But, I mean, sometimes it doesn't even take a story. Sometimes it just takes a phone call. And if the person knows they're wrong, well...
All of a sudden, they'll say, oh, no, they've got it wrong. The bill's wrong. The consumer is not telling you the truth. And then it will be fixed. Right.
Which is, I mean, ultimately, that's what we want. You did a piece recently where you went to a bunch of grocery stores to see what was cheaper where. This is part of, I don't know if series is the right word, but you've done a lot of work on inflation recently. And the prices at these grocery stores, they varied quite a bit. Were you surprised how different stores performed?
I was, because I thought, they're all kind of in competition with each other, so they probably are keeping prices really close. But it was huge differences between these 5 grocery stores for literally, this same exact 5 items with a little brand variation, but we kept it very close. Yeah,
and it was basic items. It was like eggs, milk, I think broccoli, frozen broccoli was one of them. And so Aldi was the cheapest, $8.09 for your items. Dollar General was the most expensive, just over $13 for the items.
And that really surprised people. Some people who know Dollar General or shop there know that grocery items are typically more expensive there. But a lot of people think Dollar General, they think it's going to be a really good deal. But yeah, Dollar General was the most expensive. We looked at Harris Teeter, Food Line, Walmart, and Aldi was by far the cheapest. Dollar General is $13, Aldi $8.
Yeah, on Dollar General, I've seen some reporting in recent years, and there's an NPR story that comes to mind where they're really expanding in rural areas where there just aren't a lot of options. I mean, you think about it, if you drive in some areas, you come to a crossroads, there's one thing there, or maybe there's 2 things there, a gas station and a Dollar General. I wonder if because they don't have a lot of competition in a lot of places, they just feel like they don't have to lower prices on key items that in another area, a store may say, all right, we're going to cut the price of milk to get people in the door.
Because there's, another grocery store a few blocks away that people can go to and get a cheaper item. Yes, and we saw that when we were driving around. Once we kind of got out away from the Raleigh area, there were a lot of Dollar Generals kind of in one specific area. We were trying to find one with a good variety of grocery items. But yeah, in a lot of cases, I think in North Carolina and across the country, sometimes Dollar General is your only choice. And we tried to pick healthy items like soup and vegetables and the kind of kitchen staples. And those items were very expensive there.
What was the biggest variation? What item would you say it most behooves people to shop around for or go to a particular store for?
So we saw this with eggs, and the cost of a dozen eggs right now is 40% higher than it would have been about this time last year.
Incredible.
So it really is a huge jump, and still $3, but that adds up. A lot of people use eggs for a lot of different recipes and just for breakfast. So that is a good, sometimes I think at Harris Teeter, it was in kind of the $1 range, which was really low, and Harris Teeter had a deal. Walmart was low just because it was Walmart and was low, and then I think at Dollar General was in the $3 range, and yeah, that cheap kind of eggs are cheap. Not anymore.
Yeah. And I should say, if you want to read this story and other stuff that Keely and the team do, just Google WRAL 5 on your side. All the stories will pop up. They put them together on a page. You can scroll through and see the TV version and the online version. How does something like that work? Do y'all use hidden cameras a lot in your reporting?
Well, we want to make it so we're not disrupting these stores when we walk in. And sometimes, if you're like, hi, I'm a news reporter, we want to come in and do this story. I'm just a consumer. We just want to go shop and see how much things cost.
You want to be treated like a viewer would be treated.
Exactly. And when you say I'm a news reporter, even though I shop at these stores, they kind of handle you differently. So we walk in, not with the big news camera that you would think of, but with little GoPros. We'll have one on the basket where I'm putting the food in, and then one on me. And people will notice and kind of catch on to what we're doing. But then they'll get involved and they'll say, oh, yeah, I know this store is going to be the cheapest, or, oh, this store definitely isn't going to have the best prices.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We'll talk a little bit more about money. And we're just going to talk about 5 on your side. And this is a long time that WRAL has been doing this, and it's helped a lot of people. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back with Keely Arthur with 5 on your side here at WRAL. Keely, appreciate your time. You did a piece recently on inflation more on a macro level, like kind of delving into how long the higher prices we're seeing might last. And there were also some tips for how we can all in our day-to-day lives help bring inflation down. Just a little bit, I suppose. What did you learn from that story?
So, yeah, we always think inflation is not in our control, but it is. There are things that you can do to drive inflation. You can do things to kind of lessen it. So we can talk about that for something that it will drive inflation is panic buying. When people think, we saw this with the pandemic a lot, but it happens right now. People think this is the cheapest, this item is going to be, it's only going to get more expensive because inflation's only going to get worse. I need to buy all of these, toilet paper, let's say, or something like that. And then what that does is that shrinks supply, it drives up demand, and it tells the company that's setting these prices, oh, people are willing to pay this much for this item. We're going to keep it here, or we're going to have to increase it because we don't have as much supply because everyone's buying it. The opposite you can do is stop spending money on things that are outrageously priced. So if you are kind of blown away by the cost of a coffee or an avocado or whatever it is, you can say as a consumer, this is too much, I'm not going to buy it. Then what that does is it drives down demand, it increases supply because there's more to go around, and tells the company consumers are not willing to pay this price for this item, so they're going to lower it.
Yeah, and we all kind of have to trust each other in society. Society is built on trust. And these things move. I always say that macro problems have, a few 100 million micro solutions, but every decision that we make it impacts the world around us. Don't buy overpriced goods, send that message with your wallet. I think that was really cool advice.
Yeah. And we interviewed a lot of economists and asked them, what do you do to kind of weather the storm? Like asking the expert, like a doctor, what do you do to stay healthy? And a lot of them said, have smart money habits regardless of what is going on in the economy. Don't think I have way more money right now, therefore I can spend more. Be very consistent always. Even as you get more money or have less money, be smart, have a really tight budget always.
Yeah. Another thing you do is weekly rundowns of restaurant health inspection ratings.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's popular, maybe not so popular with the restaurants, but popular with
It's so popular. And I've started cooking a lot more in my own kitchen because I think on a subconscious level, I'm just kind of grossed out by what I'm reporting on. But Pritchard Strong is the 5 on your side producer, and he has to comb through these health reports every week and find these really kind of gross. It sometimes is kind of like food wasn't kept at the right temperature, but sometimes it's like cockroaches. I think one time there was when Monica Liberty was doing Five on Your Side, there were buckets of pee found at a restaurant. And
What? What? How does that even? I know it. I've asked and I don't want to know.
You don't want to know. And I think they were saying it was from for fertilizer or something. I don't know. But Pritchard does that. And some people love the gross out factor. And sometimes it's a restaurant that you've been to. But people, I think actually it is educational. It's more than just the gross out thing. And you can kind of know which restaurants are doing really poorly. We also highlight the ones that are doing really well. There's a cilantro Indian restaurant in Cary. It's had 6 straight 100 scores. So I'm like, oh, I can trust this place.
Yeah, that's you mentioned Monica Liberty, who has moved into a corporate role here at WRAL. Yes. But she did Five on Your Side 10, 15, 20 years.
I think more than 20 years. Yeah.
What has it been like kind of stepping in to replace a legend? That's not always the best gig in the world.
No. But I'm so lucky that she's still with the company. And I think as we're speaking, she's in a building over. And she's been such a great resource and so supportive. And I think she just wants to see this thing. I mean, it started with her. So I think she just wants to see it continue to succeed. And so she's been a great mentor and did so much good. And people, I think, still, when sometimes they're like, are you Monica? Are you Keely? Who am I calling? But yeah, I mean, she's helped so many people. And that's why, while it was daunting to step into this, it also was so cool because people know Five on Your Side and they trust it. And we're trying. And we've gotten people back, I think, we're at the $70,000 mark. We keep a tally. And, it's a $300 here. Sometimes it's a huge. We got somebody back $23,000 from a Duke Energy mishap. Pritchard got somebody back, I think, $15,000 on a car engine. So sometimes we have these big ticket items, but there's little small items as well. Every little bit counts. But we have this running tally. And so I think we've been successful this year. But yeah, we're lucky to have Monica as a resource. What's
the best way for people to get in touch? And what sort of things? I mean, is there anything you're particularly looking for sources on right now, or is it just injustice? Send me injustice.
Send injustice, but I always tell people, sometimes people, which is great, call us right away. They don't kind of do their own work, and I need people to be their own advocate. And I sometimes
keep records, I imagine, because
lots of records.
Yeah.
Exactly, because we need proof. And I believe the people who call and write in, absolutely. But I need records, and it makes it easier for us to kind of go, okay, we can kind of spot a discrepancy here or a problem, and then we can get involved. We can move on this quickly. We get hundreds of complaints every week. So I always say, help me, help you. Write everything out, be concise, show that you have reached out to the company or whomever many times and keep records of that, and then we can step in.
Yeah, and if you can reach out via email so that there's a record of it, save those emails. Maybe in a little notebook, just write down, I called this time, I spoke to this person.
Yeah, that's fine. That is fine. I know not everybody is I think about my parents, they're not the most tech savvy. It's okay. We just need a kind of clear timeline of things.
Yeah. And is there an email address people should send stuff
to?
You
can do, I think it's callkeely@WRAL.com. So there's that one. And then we have a Five on Your Side page on the WRAL website, and you can fill out a form, and the form goes directly to our inbox. And we really do try to respond and get involved in everyone that we think we can.
All right. Keely Arthur, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Great being here.
Yeah, and thanks to the folks at home. Thank you for listening to the WRAL Download. If you want to hear about more things to do in North Carolina, you're planning your weekend, check out WRAL Out and About. Not only do we do that online, it is a weekly podcast from WRAL News. Just search WRAL Out and About in your podcast app. Keely Arthur, thank you for what you do. Thank you for your time. Thanks to folks listening wherever you are. If you're at home, on the road, on the treadmill, hope you have a great day, and thank you for your attention.